This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Friday, June 6, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. The Icebox in South Bend has officially expanded with the opening of a third indoor ice skating rink, a move hailed by community leaders as a major step forward for youth sports, local access, and regional tourism. Patrick Mahan, secretary of the Icebox Board of Directors, said the expansion is rooted in decades of community growth around skating and hockey.
We decided to do the new rink because there was a shortage of ice with a couple of our outdoor rinks closing, and our leagues use those outdoor rinks for a number of practices and so forth. But when both of them changed and they opened up their public skating ribbons in the downtown, we needed to find a place to put a lot of that activity.
Mahan said the rink's programming is coordinated with the University of Notre Dame, ensuring streamlined tournament and league scheduling. The Purdue University Board of Trustees today signaled support for a 50-year master plan for the school's downtown Indianapolis campus that proposes more than a dozen buildings across 28 acres. In total, the school expects to have about 4.5 million square feet of total space through an urban-style, densely built campus. A grain elevator at the ports of Indiana Burns Harbor could soon be back in use with some help from the city of Portage. The city council this week approved real and personal property tax abatements for the Louis Dreyfus Company, which says it plans to invest $18 million to restart and improve the facility. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
In the realm of college basketball, financial success doesn't always correlate with on-court performance. A recent study conducted by an Indiana University Columbus professor is putting a financial spotlight on college basketball programs. Ryan Brewer's methodology looks at a college program like one would with a professional franchise. The results from Brewer's study, released in April, found that the University of North Carolina tops the list for men's basketball programs with a total enterprise value of $378 million, followed by Duke University at $370 million. Perhaps the biggest surprise is Indiana University, which ranks third with an enterprise value of $279 million.
The IU revenue for men's basketball is a pretty significant number. It's the most in the Big Ten, and it's consistently the most in the Big Ten. And that goes back as long as I've been looking at this. It doesn't matter if they win. What matters is they generate cash flow. Valuation isn't about winning directly. Valuation is about the generation of cash flow and the prediction that cash flow will continue to be generated.
You can view the list of all of the Indiana schools that made the ranking at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. Indiana will limit available seats in its state-funded preschool program to 2,500 children next school year, less than half the current enrollment. The state will also reduce reimbursement rates for preschools. The cap is a dramatic cut for On My Way Pre-K, a voucher program that pays for 4-year-olds from low-income families to attend participating preschools. The Indiana Family and Social Services Administration, which manages the program, announced the cap on enrollment in a memo Monday. The state will also narrow family eligibility for the program. As Amazon Web Services and General Motors ramp up construction on massive projects in St. Joseph County, water resources are once again a topic of concern for local residents who say their wells are losing water. Following complaints from residents east of New Carlisle, the Indiana Department of Natural Resources is investigating a handful of residential wells to determine if nearby construction projects are to blame for lowering groundwater levels. The county's executive director for economic development, Bill Shalial, said county contractors are installing more monitoring wells around the build sites.
They've had smaller projects where they built things, but haven't had the water into this level. They haven't had construction to this level. So this is really kind of a learning lab for them and for us and for the contractors on site.
A spokesperson for Amazon did not return an interview request from Inside Indiana Business. Journalist and historian Alelia Bundles is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio On Demand.